Hi guys, this video will introduce you to rationalism, a prominent school of philosophy that will play an important role in our study of theology. Rationalism has three central core principles. The first is the existence of absolute truth. The rationalists will say that all absolute truths are true by necessity. An example of an absolute truth that is true by necessity is something like the statement that all bachelors are unmarried, or A equals A, a thing is identical to itself. The opposite of an absolute truth is a contingent truth, such as Obama is president of the US of A. A contingent truth is one that is true in some possible worlds and false in others. Rationalists will define absolute truth as unchanging and static. The second core principle of rationalism is the existence of universal truth. These truths are true in all places, at all times, and for all people. Absolute truths are also universal truths. The third core principle of rationalism concerns the centrality of reason and intellect as a means to knowing truth. Reason allows us to know truth because truth is always rational and conforms to the principles of reason. Absolute truth, universal truth, and the centrality of reason and intellect are the core principles of rationalism. Rationalism comes in two flavors. What I mean is there are two types of rationalist thought. One type is empiricism, and the other is metaphysics. During the course of our study of theology, we will study each of these types of rationalism, their core principles, and a prominent philosopher who holds that view. The main difference between these two versions of rationalism is this. What do they value as the primary source of knowledge? All rationalists agree that reason and intellect are the means to knowing truth. The difference between empiricism and metaphysics rests in how they drill down into that core principle by privileging one source of knowledge over another. So let's start with empiricism. The word empiricism is related to the word empirical, which means provable through experience. Empiricism values experience and observation as the primary means by which we can know anything. A modern-day example of a discipline that values observation as a means to know something is science. If you think about the scientific method, one makes a hypothesis and then tests it by conducting experiments and making observations. Aristotle and Maimonides were prominent empiricists. An empiricist is someone who holds to empiricism as a philosophy. Now let's talk about metaphysics. These philosophers who embrace metaphysics see serious limits with and problems associated with experience and observation. Sometimes our senses fail us. We think we see something, but we're wrong, or our experience is clouded by adrenaline, and therefore we misunderstand what we experience. To put it simply, our senses are faulty, and therefore they are a faulty source of knowledge. So philosophers who embrace metaphysics value logic, postulates, and axioms as a preferable and more reliable source of knowledge. A modern-day example of a discipline that values logic, axioms, and postulates as a means to know anything is mathematics. If you think about mathematics, the truth that 2 plus 2 equals 4, or the angles of a right triangle equal 180 is true regardless of our sense experience. Spinoza is a great example of a philosopher who feels metaphysics is the path to truth. Feel free to review this lecture at any time. It's available on Moodle. We'll have a quick quiz in class in the next class in order to just check for understanding and make sure that you have understood the primary core principles of all rationalists, as well as the differences between the two main schools of rationalism, empiricism and metaphysics. Good luck, and it's been fun seeing you.